What up, you guys? Mr. Benny1235 here again. Back with the next installment of this Blur review. We gotta get this thing rolling. I've been gone for too long. I was at the beach all last weekend. I worked all week. I was listening to a few more albums. I was listening to another Blur album that I was trying to gain a new appreciation for. Since I did it with Leisure, I was trying to do it with my second least favorite album by Blur. That was back in the day. But now I'm finally back again. I'm gonna try to get these done before the week is over, so expect a few string of videos, I guess. I'm going to be reviewing Blur's fourth album, The Great Escape. This album was considered to be Blur's commercial failure, but I don't really understand why, because I like this thing a lot. I really do love this album. It's kind of a treasure to me if you want something a little bit different. I'll explain why in a second. At the ending of my last video, I talked about how Blur and Oasis kind of had a chart war. They had two singles that released on the same day shortly before this album came out, and Blur actually ended up winning the chart war. I don't think that came as a surprise to y'all when I ended my video, but whatever. Blur had their first single from this album come out, which was Country House.
Lives in a house, very big house in the country. Watching afternoon repeats and the food he eats in the country. He takes a manner of pills and piles up analyst bills in the country. Oh, it's like an animal farm, that's a rural charm in the country.
And Oasis had their song Roll With It. I find both of these songs to be really great, but I am happy that Blur ended up taking the gold. Nasty words were said about the two during the whole time. We had Noel and Liam Gallagher calling Damon some nasty names. Damon was feeling the pressure that he might not be able to write as good a songs as Oasis. Even Alex James, the bassist of Blur, was kind of kicking himself after he heard the song Wonderwall by Oasis. He thought it was really amazing and kind of hated that his band didn't write it, I guess. I still love Blur, I still love Oasis. I think they're both really great bands. And I'm glad that they've actually came to terms with each other. Liam actually saying that he wouldn't mind collaborating with Damon in the future, which I think would be really interesting. But now on to The Great Escape. This album is kind of different in the way that it's Blur attempting to create a concept album. That's right, there is a story amongst the 15 songs that this album is length. The story is a whole lot about like businessmen who put on their suits and ties every day to go conform to the man, you know, work, do their job, come home. Maybe whoever they're married to has a job of their own, so they leave when he comes back home. And then the wife will come home later on that night, you'll go to bed, wake up, and just do the same thing again and again. And just, like, finding that money isn't everything. It's really cleverly written because, like, you wouldn't really understand the story until you hear it enough to try to put the pieces together. And I'm going to help you put it together right now as we go through this thing track by track, as I usually do, and tell you why this is all connected together. The very first song on this album, called Stereotypes, I don't really understand what the title of the song means, but the song has a chorus of "Wife swapping is your future, you know that it would suit you." Talking about like your wife having an affair. Really great song, the melody is really good, and it's when Blur actually kind of bursts out and get a little bit louder. Blur kind of harkened back to the older days with this track, and I really like it a lot. Country House, the first single from this album, you may have actually heard this song. He's got a really big house in the country. Talking about this, you know, businessman. He has his own vacation house in the country. It's his country house. Herp Derp. Third song, Best Days, is one of Blur's more slower and mundane songs. Talking about mainly, is this it? Is this all that is to look forward to? Other people turn around and laugh at you when you say, this is the best days of our lives. That's the chorus of the song. You can figure it out. 4, Tremulous Man is about this guy who got brought up in a really rich family. He got to go to the best schools and get the best education possible. He has a load of business associates that he secretly hates, but he acts like he likes them. You know that type in the business world. It's really cleverly written, and I really like this song a whole lot. It's probably really close to the top of some of my favorite Blur tracks. Fade Away kind of harkens back to what I said at the beginning of this review. All you ever do is fade away, and when he's in, she's out. That's a lyric of the song. Basically, he comes home from work, she goes to work. He comes back, they do the same thing again and again. Top Man, this is all about your boss. Shooting guns on the high streets of love, man. There's no limits he can cross. The lyrics are really crazy in this song. It does it really well. Blur really hit home with this concept album. And I'm sure you're thinking the same thing right now. Universal is the only song that I can't really connect to the rest of this CD. The Universal is an absolutely beautiful song, and I think its music video is the only one that Blur actually had a big budget behind. I'm not saying their other videos were shit or anything, but this one, they just all had matching costumes, and I don't know, it's a very creative video. It's kind of freaky. It has a weird homage to A Clockwork Orange, but I'm sure you've noticed that if you've seen the video. Mr. Robinson's Quango. I have no idea what a Quango is, but it sounds like a vacation home when you listen to the lyrics of the song. Mr. Robinson, he's this guy. He wears suspenders. There's actually a lyric that says he has herpes. It's one of the weirdest songs on the CD, but I like it a lot. He Thought of Cars is a really pretty song as well. It's one of Blur's more slower songs, but I'm not really sure what this is about, really. He thought of cars, where to drive them, and who to drive them with. And there was no one. No one. That's the chorus of this song. Can you tell me what that means? It Could Be You is a song all about winning the lottery. It's amazing. It's like, oh, don't worry if it's not your lucky number, because tomorrow there's another. There's always a chance that you could win the lottery and strike it rich. Track 11, Arnold Same, is a spoken word piece that kind of encapsulate everything that we've heard about this album so far. Arnold Same sat on the train, did the same thing he did every day. Poor old Arnold Same. That's really how the spoken word sounds in this song. It sounds really slow and draggy and sleepy and kind of has a mundane, repetitive quality to it, so it really hits home with what the song is about. Globe Alone is about this man who has to have everything his way and it has to be perfectly right. There's even a lyric in there about how picky he is with what pajamas he wears to bed. It's really clever, I love it. Dan Abnormal is one of my favorite character songs. It's just Damon Albarn, his name, with the letters jumbled around to form a whole new name, Dan Abnormal. But it's a really funny song, and I'm not really sure why he did that, but I think it's kind of cool that he did. Entertain Me is like, when are we gonna actually get together again? You're working all the time, I'm working all the time, you know, entertain me. Find something for us to do other than just have this mundane task every single day. It's these people finding out that there's more to life than just working all the time. And then the last song, Yuko and Hero, kind of encapsulates what happened in Entertain Me, the last song on the CD. It's like, I never see you, we're never together, I'll love you forever. The last song on here kind of like ends the album on a good note. These people figured out that what they were doing is wrong and that they need to stop, turn around, and actually enjoy life. Which is why I think the title of the album is really good. The Great Escape. Escaping your mundane work life and actually enjoying it. Why was this a commercial failure? I have no idea. So anyway, check it out. I highly recommend this. Give this underrated album a little bit of a, give it a chance. Now that I've kind of explained it to you, listen to the rest of the lyrics and try to piece together the story yourself, because it's really fun to do. I'm going to be back. We're going to be talking about my used to be second least favorite Blur album, self-titled, Blur. Mr. Money 1235, I'll see you guys later.